rank male beauty in like the kind of scale of what's important? Like
the highest.
He preaches about using testosterone to gain more muscles, and for him everything is framed as improvement, but the aim is really external validation, not internal transformation.
Where you at, Berto?
Clavicular is what Nietzsche warned us about.
Clavicular is what Nietzsche warned us about. Friedrich Nietzsche was a 19th century German philosopher who had a chilling warning about the future. If you gaze long enough into the abyss also gazes into you. Some people see Clavicular or Braden Peters as a self-help creator or an influencer to help you increase your looks. Other people see him as entertainment, but I see something much darker. I see the exact cultural sickness that Friedrich Nietzsche diagnosed over 100 years ago, fully optimized for the internet age. I see Nietzsche's worst fear, living, breathing, and streaming, contaminating the—
Oh my God, this thing is making me feel uneasy. It's good ass edit though, vid right off the rip.
Youth and future generations.
Is he dead? Hopefully.
Friedrich Nietzsche famously said, God is dead. And a lot of people misinterpret what he meant by that. He wasn't making a religious argument. He was giving a warning. You see, for much of human history, people believed that their lives pointed to something higher. God, truth, virtue, being a good person, something that was beyond themselves. And that higher meaning, it gave life direction. It made people share with others when they had little. It made people forgive each other when they wanted to seek revenge. It made people restrain themselves when anger would have felt better. It made sacrifice and living unselfishly.
I think what he's saying is, it's not that God is dead in the sense that, you know, God don't exist, but it's the fact that people aren't leading with God on their mind. You know, God, the idea of God, or, you know, trusting in the Lord is what is supposed to keep a lot of people in check, you know, keep people from wanting to be righteous and keeping people wanting to stay on the right path. But, you know, nowadays that's just not the case.
Makes sense. But Friedrich Nietzsche believed that in modern times, people stopped believing in that higher source. And when the reason to believe in something higher fades, so does the reason to act beyond yourself. This is the birth of nihilism. Nihilism is the belief that life has no higher meaning or purpose. Nietzsche warned that if there is nothing higher to aim at, then where does our energy go? He feared that instead of rising to create deep new inner values, people would turn inward. He feared that the self would become the new focus, the new project, the new thing to perfect. And with Clvicular, we can see this clearly. When there is no shared sense of purpose, when we are not striving to become better internally, we strive to become better externally. Looks maxing or obsessively optimizing.
Yo, this is deep, because this is actually, everything starts with the internal, y'all. Like, if you are always focused, like, obviously, you know, I'm always an advocate for making sure you carry yourself the right way externally, right? But if your main priorities in life is just external, we've seen time and time again the prettiest women with the worst personalities, you know what I'm saying? Might be the most successful man, you know, has everything a woman could ever want, from physique, from money, from job, from status, but is a terrible human being, doesn't take care of his children, you know, puts his paws on ladies. Like, so we see this over and over again, where like people are only focused on the external, but their insides are dog shit, essentially. That's big.
Your image or status replaces the harder work of transcending yourself, of trying to become a better person. It begins to look like a kind of self-worship, building and polishing the image of the self as if it were something sacred, as if it were a god.
Where do you rank male beauty in like the kind of scale of what's important? Like
the highest.
Like higher than like kindness or something.
Yeah.
Instead of asking how to grow in character, how to grow in depth, how to grow in truth, the focus shifts on how to look better, how to gain more followers, how to achieve more status, how to mog more people. And when meaning collapses, when nihilism grows, anyone or anything that stands in the way of the self can feel unimportant. This is evident in the viral clip where Clvicular runs over someone in a Tesla Cybertruck. On Christmas Eve 2025, he was live streaming while driving in Miami. A man whom Clvicular claimed had been stalking and harassing him jumped onto the back of his truck.
I ain't gonna lie, that guy was stalking and harassing him. And me personally, if he was moving like that too, I would have ran his ass over too. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of y'all might think I'm tripping because you may not know the full context, but we did react to that video, and that guy that Clvicular ran over was
weirdo,
100%. But that's the only grace I'm gonna give him. Clvicular is a bad man. I'm not gonna lie. We don't rock with him over here. But that is one case where that dude was odd.
Someone in the car told him to drive. Clvicular accelerated and the man slid off the hood and went under the truck. On stream, Clvicular said,
Is he dead? I don't know. Hopefully.
The man survived, no serious injuries were reported, and police investigated and ruled that there was no crime. Clvicular claimed that it was self-defense, and the clip went viral. The moment is shocking, but more revealing than shocking.
It was
If Clvicular was truly trying to ascend, to grow on the inside, his first instinct wouldn't have been to run someone else over. Instead, his first instinct was the stream. Instead, his first instinct was himself. For Nietzsche, nihilism is when there's no higher value guiding your actions. When there's nothing above you, no moral anchor, no deeper purpose, the self becomes the higher thing. And when the self becomes the highest thing, everything else becomes secondary. Other people become in the background, obstacles become disposable, interruptions become threats. In that moment, the stream, the image, the performance mattered more than the person underneath the truck. That is nihilism in its purest form, that nothing is higher than the self. That is what Nietzsche feared. Not some dramatic evil, but a quiet shrinking of moral concern, where striving for something greater than ourselves is replaced by protecting and promoting ourselves.
You know, there's a concept that I was thinking about. Wait, hold on. I know you guys usually skip this part of the video, but give me 1 second. I want to put you guys on real quick on a way to make some extra money that is 100% legit, and you could do it all from your phone. TesterUp is a platform that works with games to find new users just like you to test their games out. These apps and games are willing to pay new users to get on their platform because 9 times out of 10, they genuinely actually like playing the game. And the app in return ends up making money because you're playing the game that they paid you to play. I know that sounds a little bit too good to be true, but this is why I'm breaking it down for you so you understand the business behind it and how it works. TesterUp helps put money back in your pocket that these platforms are willing to pay for new users. So if you already like playing games on your phone, click the link in the description or use the QR code on the screen. You're gonna make a free account. It's completely free to do. And you can start making $10 to $20 off of games that you already love playing. This isn't a get rich quick scheme, so it's full transparency here. But if you're dedicated enough and you like playing games on your phone, there's people already making hundreds of dollars as well. Again, it's completely free to try. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. Check it out and make some extra cash. When I was talking about with Feek, literally like 2 days ago, bro, because I got out of the gym and as I was walking up to my car, I noticed a scuff on my car, bro. And I was genuinely so mad because it was clear that somebody just, you know, swung their door open super fast and hit my shit. And you know, while it could have just been an accident, I'm sure it's like I want to like give somebody the benefit of the doubt that that was the case. What pissed me off is like, I know myself, I'm such a considerate person. Anytime I pull up into a parking lot and it's a super tight spot, bro, I open the door so slowly, like so slowly to the point where the door actually does touch the other car, but it touches it so ever so slowly and so like light that I know that there's no possible way that their car can get dented. And this is just how my brain thinks because it's just like, I'm a considerate person. And I feel like so many people nowadays just lack consideration. They're so focused on themselves. They're so focused on going where they're going. They don't care about what anybody else going on. They have no spatial awareness. They're just me, to the point where you're literally pulling into a parking spot. There's 2 cars next to you, like in the physical, you should be able to see them. And you're just swinging your door open hard as fuck. It's just like, bruh. Weirdo. Take 2 seconds to just be considerate, bruh. Just be just think about your neighbor. Think about the person next to you. And it's not about being a sucker or being a doormat or overly caring about other people's feelings. It's just you don't get anything out of just being an asshole, bro. Like I don't know, bro. And it genuinely pissed me off. And now I got this. It's not crazy big, but it's big enough for me to be like, damn, bro. And nigga just hit the fuck up my car. But anyway, in GTA, of course. Yeah, in GTA. Did I say something wrong? My bad. Yeah, in GTA, whatever I said.
In one of Friedrich Nietzsche's books, Thus Spake Zarathustra, Nietzsche describes the last man. The last man is a type of person, not a villain, but a comfortable, self-focused figure that avoids true transformation. Friedrich Nietzsche describes the last man as someone who doesn't strive for true greatness. He optimizes within the world that he lives in. At first glance, Clvicular preaching about looks maxing seems to be like true transformation. It looks like discipline, and it looks like self-improvement. It looks like climbing upward. But Friedrich Nietzsche's idea of rising was never about ranking higher inside of a system. It was about overcoming yourself, creating new values, risking change, and confronting difficult truths. Looks maxing is different. It's about adjusting the surface. It's about fine-tuning an image. It's about competing for status inside an already existing hierarchy. With Clvicular, this distinction becomes clear. He preaches about wearing lifts to get taller, wearing colored contacts if your eyes are brown. He preaches about using testosterone to gain more muscles. And for him, everything is framed as improvement. But the aim is really external validation, not internal transformation. Clvicular is what Nietzsche warned us about. Clvicular is the last man. A man who doesn't destroy the system, but optimizes to score better inside of it. Friedrich Nietzsche also warned that he who fights monsters should see it that he himself does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into the abyss also gazes into you. Here, Friedrich Nietzsche meant that in trying to conquer something dark, you can slowly become shaped by it. Clvicular appears to be trying to transcend through self-improvement. He builds his identity around looks, status, and dominance. He talks about mogging others or looking better than others, ranking higher, and winning visually. And on the surface, it looks like rising. It looks like transformation. But when everything becomes about superficial metrics, you don't escape the system, you bind yourself to it. The culture that he's creating through his followers shows this clearly. His followers obsess over who mocks who, or who looks better than who. In a recent extremely viral clip, an Arizona State University fraternity leader mogged Clvicular. It went extremely viral because looking better than Clvicular is apparently rare. In that moment, Clvicular, who built his whole brand on looking better than everyone else, was mogged or less visually appealing than this other guy. The same metric that he used to assert dominance by rating other people's looks became the metric that was used against him. This is the abyss that Friedrich Nietzsche warned us about. When identity is built on surface value, you must constantly defend it. Every interaction becomes a ranking. Every room becomes a threat. And there's something so tragic about that. And trying never to be the one who gets judged or overlooked, he entered into a contract with the very culture that he wanted to be. A culture of comparison, of constant measurement, of endless competition.
Yo, this nigga Clvicular really reminds me of American Psycho, bro. Like, he's genuinely the IRL American Psycho.
And the people who are drawn to him, his followers, reflect this back to him. Many of his followers are just as obsessed with hierarchy, appearance, and status as he is. They do not free him from the system, they push him further into it. The audience demands the same game that he performs. And in trying to defeat the monster of insecurity through looks maxing, he becomes dependent on it. In trying to transcend weakness, he builds an identity that cannot survive without comparison.
Have you been mocked by another man?
I've definitely been mocked, yeah.
Yeah. How does it feel to get mocked?
It's not a great feeling.
It feels bad. Yeah.
I feel bad.
It's just like that a guy's more beautiful than you, or
Just,
And honestly, I feel sympathy for him in some way, because the social contract that he made is painful. Because the more you base your worth on being superior, the more fragile your worth becomes. Every new room holds a new threat. Every taller man becomes a rival. Every viral clip becomes a test. You see, Friedrich Nietzsche's warning wasn't just about evil. It was about becoming shaped by what you fight. In staring into the abyss of superficial value, Clvicular did not escape it. He became a part of it. Ultimately, Clvicular is not the disease. He's the symptom of the disease. He did not create a culture that's obsessed with appearance, ranking, or
Yeah, he didn't, and that's actually the sad thing. I don't know where it started. Maybe it started with Andrew Tate, maybe, or maybe somewhere before him. Because when you really think about it, Clvicular's young. How old is Clvicular? Let's actually check that real quick. We probably checked it before, but I'm curious. How old is Clvicular? He's 20 years old. He is 20 years old. So he's very young still. He's still very young. And it's true. He probably was just overly influenced by a lot of the toxic bullshit that was already kind of brewing up on the internet. And then he came to this conclusion that this was the way. It's very sad, man.
Visibility, he operates inside of it. A culture where worth is measured by height and status, dominance, virality. A culture where optimization replaces transcendence. Friedrich Nietzsche warned us that when the highest values collapse, humanity, it doesn't immediately fall into chaos. Something quieter happens. Meaning erodes, depth, it shrinks, striving thins. In the absence of having something higher to aim at, in the absence of becoming a better person within ourselves, the self becomes the highest reference point. Clvicular reflects this condition. His world is structured around surface value. Who mogs who ranks higher than who appears superior. Even moments of real moral weight are absorbed into his performance. Not because he is uniquely corrupt, but because he operates inside of a system that rewards visibility over virtue. The danger, Friedrich Nietzsche believed, was not that humanity would become monstrous in a dramatic sense. It was that it would become small. That humanity would reduce greatness to calibration, transcendence to aesthetics, character to branding. To treat Clvicular like the sole problem would be missing the deeper issue. He's amplified because the culture is ready for him. He resonates because the values he already reflects are already widespread. If there's
Even at an old age, Berto mogs young Clvicular.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
I'm not old. I'm not old. Jesus.
the crisis here, it's not one man's obsession with image. The crisis is in a society that no longer looks beyond itself and mistakes appearance for virtue. Thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it.
W video, man, y'all tap in. Loved that. That was actually a really good video. I feel like you made a lot of good points, man. Shout out to bro. What's his name? Harry Gray Earls. I'll show his channel one more time so y'all can go tap in. But I leave a link to the original video in the description all the time. Tap into the Twitch streams so you never miss a live stream reaction. That's Where You At Berto.
Where You At Berto?
Well, I appreciate y'all.
Whereyouatberto?
I made this shit look too easy.